Welcome back to the program. This is Capital Market Live on Channels Television. During the week, we talked about the unveiling of the NSE Enterprise Portal in Lagos here, and it was graced by the Minister of Trade and Investment, Mr. Okechukwu Eneloma. Now, during his address, he described that portal as a bridge between entrepreneurship and private equity. Speaking to a lot of the fund managers and operators right there at the event, he explained that the initiative has a link, a major one, with the ERGP in the area of infrastructure development. Let's listen.
And so I think what we're doing here today is an attempt at that engagement. Let me just talk briefly about three things I think should come out of this launch, the launch of this NSE portal. You know, our three stakeholder groups that I think should benefit. And these are the SMEs, the investment managers and investors, and of course the public sector, the government. Now for SMEs, as you know, if you talk to most SMEs, they'll tell you that the biggest problem is capital, access to capital and capacity. Now, we know that if there was a way for information on these SMEs, to get out there, at least people can begin to make informed choices. It gets even better if the SMEs can be helped, to package that information. And I hope that this portal will help reduce the challenge of accessing financing for them by linking these SMEs, which we hope will well-packaged businesses, to the investors, a form of intermediation. What about the financiers, the investors, the asset managers? I think this is clear. Having been in asset management myself, I know that if you have most venture capitalists or private equity players, they'll tell you that the critical success factor is the quality of the pipeline. If they have a strong pipeline to choose from, most people believe they'll make the right choice, and probably so. And hopefully this portal will help to deepen that pipeline, will help to create that pipeline, will certainly help to provide information on these companies. And these are areas where, when we say Nigeria is the largest economy in Africa, or should be the largest economy in Africa, a lot of people you know that we have millions of SMEs. If you talk to the small and medium enterprises development agency of Nigeria, they will tell you that Nigeria has, I'm trying to remember the number yesterday, but it's a huge number, not like 37 million. But because these individual mom and pop things are considered micro, small and medium enterprises. The question is how many of those things can really become viable and bankable and credible to receive institutional capital, or even pre-institutional capital. And that's what this portal is trying to do. What about the role of government and the benefits to government? We've said we want to diversify the economy. How are we going to diversify the economy? Most people will tell you that it doesn't matter where you go through, eventually you have to include a vibrant SME sector. Because they represent something like half the economy by most statistics and by most measures. And again, we come back to what can we do that will help the SMEs the most. The interesting thing about my ministry, Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, is that most of the initiatives for SMEs fall under our purview. But I tell you something, for us to succeed, we have to work with others, because really the needs of SMEs cut across. We have to work with the private sector, we have to work with capital markets, we have to work with other ministries, we have to work with the states, because SMEs are actually more active in the states than the federal. And of course, we have to work with agencies in our own network. So I guess the point I'm trying to make is that the government can benefit a lot from learning more about these SMEs and from understanding better how to help them. From understanding better how to help them by, and I hope this portal will provide some input into that.
Mr. Okechukwu Eneloma is the Minister for Industry, Trade and Investment right here in Nigeria. Now let's get out of the country to other parts of the continent. Egypt is number one, and we'll look at the story coming in from there. CI Capital is to be listed on the Egyptian Stock Exchange. The Exchange Committee approved the listing of CI Capital Holdings shares with issued capital of $23.23 million distributed over 411.45 million shares, and with a nominal value of 1 Egyptian pound. The company's capital will be issued in 4 issuances worth 10 million Egyptian pound, 40 million Egyptian pound, and 261.45 million Egyptian pounds, as well as 100 million Egyptian respectively. CI Capital Holding announced in March its intention to issue 43.6% of the group's share capital on the EGX, amounting to up to 246.9 million ordinary shares. And over now to the BRVM stock exchange. The BRVM, which links 8 West African countries in the continent, is embarking on the second leg of its international roadshow with a one-day forum in London, and that's on Wednesday, May the 2nd of 2018. The exchange, which is headquartered in Côte d'Ivoire, looks to meet with UK fund managers and market experts to outline investment opportunities at its BRVM Investment Days 2018. Now, the roadshow follows a successful first stop in Johannesburg, where it drew over 100 potential investors on insights into regional economies with a forecast combined growth of 6.5% or 6.6% a year until 2021. And our last African story is from RMB, that's Rand Merchant Bank. South African-based Rand Merchant Bank, in its latest investments report, has identified Nigeria and Ghana as the most attractive local and Eurobond markets on the continent. The research comes in the wake of the recent ranking of Ghana's economy as the second fastest growing economy in Africa. The US and European investors are committing funds to Ghana and Nigeria as a result of high yields in both frontier markets. And back home, the Nigerian Stock Exchange this week migrated 4 companies to its premium board. They include Access Bank, Lafarge Africa, Seplat, and the United Bank for Africa. These additions bring the total number of companies on the board to 7. During the addition, the chief executive, Mr. Oscar Onyema, explains some of the benefits of being on that elite category.
We created and launched the Premium Board Index, and the NSE Corporate Governance Index to segment distinguished companies like yourselves and create investable products that can be used by discerning investors to meet their investment objectives. The Corporate Governance Index tracks the performance of all CGRS qualified companies on the NSE, while the Premium Board showcases the largest blue chip companies, typically market leaders in their sectors. Empirical studies show that similar indices in other jurisdictions outperform their market-wide index by double digits, and this is also evident with the NSE Premium Board. From inception to date, the Premium Board Index continues to outperform the benchmark NSE All-Share Index, with the Premium Board recording a total return of 84.99% versus the NSE All-Share Index, which returned 41.79%. So the gap is quite high. The NSE Corporate Governance Index, which has a base date of December 2015 and base value of 1,000, recorded a 26-month average return of 20.1%. The NSE Corporate Governance Index outperformed the NSE All-Share Index and the NSE 30 Index, but was outperformed by the NSE Premium Board Index. The Premium Board features companies that adhere to international best practices on corporate governance and satisfy the exchange's highest standards of capitalization and liquidity. The Premium Board Index serves as a benchmark for investors looking to track the performance of large firms with excellent corporate governance and sustainable business models. In addition to the benefits of being on the exchange, the Premium Board affords its members eligibility to participate in the exchange's biannual roadshow to global financial centers, which opens new frontiers to attract investment from global fund managers and thematic portfolio investors. These funds, with total assets under management in excess of $7.5 trillion, give strong preference to large blue chip companies with high corporate governance ratings. The NSE also offers enhanced and dedicated relationship management to support your corporate goals and objectives.
That's the Chief Executive of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, Mr. Oscar Onyema. He was speaking on the additions to the Premium Board of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. And that's all the time we have this evening on the show. Thank you for being a part of it. I'm Temple Ashaju. I'll see you again next time with more stories from the capital market realm. Bye for now.